Hello friends, and welcome to the Grave Detective channel. Today, I'm standing on the island of Stenholmen, in the vicinity of the village of Fjällbacka, 100 kilometers north of Göteborg, on the Swedish west coast. The grave we are visiting today is the grave of Johann Kinau, best known as Gorch Fock.
Johann Wilhelm Kinau was born on the 22nd of August 1880 in Finkenwerder, an island on the Elbe River located in Hamburg in northern Germany. He was the son of the high sea fisherman Heinrich Wilhelm Kinau and his wife Meta Holst, and was the eldest of a family that would include 6 children. His grandfather, Johann Nikolaus, was the first member of the family to be a fisherman. He married Katharina Fock, and the couple had 6 children, including Heinrich, Johann's father. In February 1864, an event plunged the family into mourning. In the waters of Skagerrak, a storm swept away the ship of Johann Wilhelm's grandfather and also his uncle. Although not yet born at the time of the events, Johann Wilhelm was marked by this tragic familial story. As a child, Johann Wilhelm dreamt of the sea. In 1892, his father Heinrich took him fishing at sea to test his seamanship skills. Unfortunately, Johann became seasick. The father made a second attempt a little later, without success, and decided to take another of his sons as a sailor on his boat. Following these failures, Johann turned to commercial studies, which he completed in 1898 in Bremerhaven. The following year, he began his career as an accountant in Meiningen in Thuringia, far away from the sea and far away from the Elbe River. However, it was in Meiningen that Johann experienced a literary awakening by discovering the world of theater. 2 years later, in 1901, he moved to Halle and began writing poems under the pseudonym Gorch Fock. Gorch means George in the Low German dialect, and Fock is the maiden name of his paternal grandmother. In 1904, Johann found a job in Hamburg and was thus able to return to his native region. At this time, he also began to learn Danish, Dutch, French, and English. 2 years later, he met his future wife, Rosa Elisabeth Reich. The wedding took place on the 26th of January 1908. 1 year earlier, Johann had fulfilled a great professional dream by finding a job at the prestigious Hamburg Amerika Linie. At this period, Johann also began to take an active part in local literary life and became president of the Freie Vereinigung von Freunden und Niederdeutscher Sprache und Literatur, or Free Association of Friends of the Low German-speaking language and literature, the dialect spoken in this region of Germany. On the 12th of October 1910, Johann became the father of twins, Adolf and Heinrich Wilhelm. But 9 days later, the little Heinrich Wilhelm died. 3 years later, in 1913, Johann published his most famous work, Seefahrt ist Not. Navigation is a necessity. In this novel, he describes the harsh life of fishermen in the North Sea. The book tells a tragic story where the main character, a fisherman named Klaus Mewes, is killed during a storm at sea in Skagerrak, the part of the North Sea between Denmark and Norway. Exactly what happened to Johann's grandfather and uncle, but not only, as we will soon discover. On the 28th of July 1914, a few days before the outbreak of the First World War, Rosa gave birth to the family's 3rd child, a baby girl named Meta Elisabeth Pauline. On the 1st of August 1914, like many others, Johann greeted the start of the war with enthusiasm. From this moment on, his works will also evoke patriotism and, as a German in love with the sea, disdain for England. On the 18th of December 1914, Johann volunteered. On the 28th of March 1915, he was called to arms and joined the 1st Hanseatic Infantry Regiment or 75th Bremen Infantry Regiment. In July 1915, he was sent to the 207th Brandenburg Reserve Infantry Regiment. This regiment was then sent to the Russian front, before finally being redeployed to Slovenia and Serbia from September of that same year. Although positioned in the front line, Johann was never injured. At the beginning of 1916, Johann was in Verdun. But Johann had already expressed his desire to join the Navy. His near celebrity status allowed him to be granted his wish. So, on the 25th of March 1916, Johann was able to join the cruiser SMS Wiesbaden in the port of Wilhelmshaven. At Wilhelmshaven, he crossed paths with his brothers Rudolf, also a sailor, but on the auxiliary cruiser SMS Wolf. On the 31st of May 1916, the German fleet cast off. Its goal? To attack the British fleet by surprise. The Wiesbaden left Wilhelmshaven. Johann set up as a lookout in a crow's nest. In his diary, he writes: See blaugrün, es geht nach Norwegen auf. Kaperkrieg. Nichts zu sehen als unsere Kriegsfahrzeuge. Heben bedeckt, teilweise Regen. Sonnenflecke auf den Seen, leichter Schaum. Nach Helgeland West, dann Nord, kein Land wieder. 165 Meter. The bluish-green sea is going to Norway. Pirate war. Nothing to see outside of our own warships. Overcast skies, partly overcast, partly rainy. A few spots of sun on the seas. A light foam. West after Helgeland, then north. No land on the horizon. 165 meter. The Royal Navy had picked up, without being able to decode it, the secret message from the Germans which gave the German ships the orders to leave. Realizing that something important was about to take place, the British fleet set sail. There, at Skagerrak, the steamer NJ Fjord, flying the flag of Denmark, a neutral country, sailed carefully. He came across the first German ships that asked him to stop his engines, which released a mass of smoke. This plume of smoke was noticed in the distance by the ships of the Royal Navy. A detachment of English ships was sent to investigate the origin of the smoke. It was that way that the English fleet discovered the German fleet, and vice versa. The ensuing naval battle is known as the Battle of Skagerrak or the Battle of Jutland. Its outcome is uncertain, the two enemies each claiming victory. On the 31st of May 1916, in the late afternoon, the Wiesbaden was hit by gunfire from HMS Indomitable, HMS Inflexible, and HMS Invincible. Around 6 p.m., damage to the engines stopped the progress of the Wiesbaden. Now standing still, the Wiesbaden became an easy prey. A fourth British ship, HMS Defence, approached the Wiesbaden to give a fatal blow. But having moved too far away from the rest of the fleet, the Defence was taken under German fire. The German SMS Lutzow gave her the coup de grâce by hitting her ammunition reserve. On board HMS Defence was Admiral Sir Robert Arbuthnot, a boxing enthusiast who fought George Bradford in a boxing match, as shown in my video about George Bradford. To return to SMS Wiesbaden, this ship had a tragic fate. British reports indicate that she sank during the night around 2:45 a.m. 589 sailors lost their lives. There was only one survivor, the chief stoker Hugo Zenne, who was rescued 3 days later by a Norwegian fishing vessel. A month later, around the summer solstice, the bodies of several German and British sailors were found on the beach of the island of Federöbot, near Fjällbacka in Sweden. On the body of one of these sailors, poems and a diary were found. These elements allowed the Swedish authorities to identify the body as that of Johann Kinau. Johann had expressed the wish to be buried at sea, like a sailor. However, he was buried, along with his German and British comrades found in Federobot, on the island of Stellholmen on the 2nd of July 1916. His diary and some of his poems were published by his muse Aline Bussmann in 1918 in a book called Sterne überm Meer, Stars Above the Sea.
Johann Kinau died in Skagerrak, like his grandfather, like his uncle, and as the main character of his book, Seefahrt is not. Today, several streets in Germany bear his name. Several schools too, and even school ships, like the Gorch Fock 1, launched in 1933, or the Gorch Fock 2, launched in 1958, and current school ship of the German Navy. Friends, thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope to see you soon for another video. Bye!